Good Wednesday morning, friends, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you happen to be joining me. For those that I may not know, I'm Reverend Jennifer Finley, our Momentum and Discipleship Pastor at First United Methodist Church here in Kirksville, and it is good to be joining you together today, simply for this time that we take each week, to take a midweek pause, to take a deep breath together, and wonder together about where God is meeting us in the midst. Apologies if you can hear the air conditioner noise in the background. It's a little noisier outside than I thought it might be this morning. But it's good to be joining with you. And this summer, in our pauses together, we've been talking about this season of green, this time in the summer when many of us have some breathing space to think about learning and growing, and different rhythms, vacations happen in our church calendar, where it's a long time through the summer and into the fall of common time. And we've been wondering about what spiritual practices meet us in this particular time. Now, it is still absolutely the season of green for me, but seasons are changing a little bit around us. As I was out and about for the 4th of July holiday this weekend, I popped into our local Walmart to pick up some supplies, and I was a little disheartened to see school supplies. Now, those of you who are educators or have kids in school, or even just happen to live in Kirksville and know our rhythms, know that about this time of year, after we get past the 4th of July, anyone who lives in or around the rhythms of the school year starts to get a little twitchy. It starts to feel like time is short. So the seasons are changing a little bit. And I wonder where and how is God meeting us in those, even in those changes within this season of green. As I thought about that for myself, I thought, God met me this last week in a meme on Facebook. Now, I know that's a mixed bag, but I saw this shared a couple of times, and when I do see things come across my feed more than once, I like to pay attention. And it was a poem that spoke into this time frame. And now, one of the things I miss about COVID times, I don't miss much at all about COVID. I don't think any of us do. But one of the things I miss is that in that time frame, lots of people shared their creative efforts on Facebook. They shared, or other social media platforms, they shared poems and blog posts and things that spoke from the heart into the time we found ourselves in. Now, I don't miss that time, but I miss a little bit of that honesty that we found together in social media, in the ways in which we let artists and their work speak from our heart for us. This was one of those. A friend shared it, and then a clergy colleague shared it, and it said, "Let July be July. Let July be July. Let August be August. And let yourself just be, even in the uncertainty. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to solve everything. And you can still find peace and grow in the wild of changing things." Now, I found that so powerful that I wondered more about it, and apparently other people did too, because on one of my feeds, someone had gone and done the work to find a link to the original poem. It's a fuller poem, and it's called "Let July Be July," and it's by Morgan Harper Nichols, who apparently is an artist and fairly prominent on Facebook and other social media platforms. I had not run into her work. She's published some books. If you look at her bio, she describes herself as an artist and a poet. She describes herself boldly as an autistic poet and writer and graphic artist. And so I wanted to share with you this full poem, because perhaps it resonates for you in this particular part of our season of green. Let July be July. Even here you are growing. When August is approaching and you feel a little restless, thinking about how this month might end, and how this year might end, and how you are supposed to start again, you are growing in grace and courage and strength. And it is okay if it does not feel like it. It is okay if there are moments where you cannot see the way you have grown, because far beneath the surface the seeds have been sown. The ground beneath your feet is still a bed for new beginnings. So much is changing around you, but you are changing too. You are so much more than the brokenness that you were certain would define you. It has not been easy for you. You have worked so hard to be the positive one. You have given your best in areas of your life where the effort was not returned. And this has made it so hard for you to keep going. And there have been days where you were not sure if it was even possible. But after everything, here you are, just a little stronger, holding on a little longer, and you still found room for hope. So take heart, breathe deep. You are still becoming who you were meant to be. Let July be July. Let August be August, and let yourself just be. Even in the uncertainty, you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to solve everything, and you can still find peace and grow in the wild of changing things. Friends, the beautiful thing about poetry, at least what I find beautiful about poetry, is not all of it has to resonate at all times. So there are pieces of that poem that don't resonate with me in this very moment, but there are other parts that I thought, yeah, that's right. I wonder what that's like for you. Are there parts of that that resonated? Are there parts that you heard your own voice in? Are there parts where God met you? I know many of us, in our own kinds of ways, struggle to find that way to really let July be July. I know I was spending this morning putting dates on my calendar and color coding all the things for August and September and October and into next January, and I love that work. But there is also a spiritual practice in acknowledging that this moment can be this moment, and it doesn't have to be the next moment or the next moment. And we don't have to fix all the things that swirl in our world. And so God met me in this poem, and I hope and pray God met you in this work of art as well. For wherever you are, know that we are indeed in July, and we can be here. We can be here together. We can dwell here together. Go in peace, my friends. Amen.